Picture this. You wake up in the morning, your eyes barely open, and without even thinking, your hand reaches for your phone. You scroll through messages, check notifications, watch a few short videos. Maybe you switch to another app, checking what's new, refreshing your feed, jumping from one thing to the next. Before you've even stepped out of bed, your brain is already flooded with dopamine. It feels good. It feels normal. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, what is this doing to you? Dopamine. The word gets thrown around a lot. Some call it the pleasure chemical. Others call it the motivation molecule. But dopamine is more than just a feel-good neurotransmitter. It's the driving force behind your desires, your habits, and even your sense of purpose. It's what pushes you to take action, to chase rewards, to seek out things that make you feel good. Every time you experience something pleasurable, whether it's eating your favorite food, hearing a compliment, or unlocking a new level in a video game, your brain releases dopamine. And that release tells your brain, this is good. Do it again. Now, at its core, dopamine isn't bad. In fact, it's essential for survival. Imagine our ancestors, living in a time where food was scarce, where every action had to be purposeful. Dopamine helped them stay motivated. It pushed them to hunt, to gather food, to build shelter. Without dopamine, they wouldn't have had the drive to survive. And even today, dopamine plays a key role in our daily lives. It's what makes us strive for success, set goals, and feel a sense of accomplishment. But here's where things start to go wrong. The modern world has hijacked our dopamine system. Unlike our ancestors, we no longer have to work hard for every reward. We no longer have to put in effort to experience pleasure. Instead, we live in an era of instant gratification, where everything we could possibly want is just a tap away. Think about it. In the past, if you wanted entertainment, you had to wait for your favorite show to air. If you wanted to talk to someone, you had to call them or meet them in person. If you wanted to eat, you had to cook. But now, entertainment, social interaction, food, pleasure, it's all available instantly. No waiting, no effort, just pure, immediate gratification. And your brain? It loves it. It craves it. It gets hooked on it. The problem is, your brain was never designed for this kind of overstimulation. Every time you engage in a high dopamine activity, scrolling through social media, watching endless videos, playing fast-paced video games, eating junk food, you're flooding your brain with more dopamine than it's supposed to handle. And when that happens over and over again, something dangerous starts to happen. Your brain adapts. Scientists call this dopamine desensitization. In simple terms, the more you overload your brain with dopamine, the more it becomes numb to it. What does that mean for you? It means the things that used to bring you joy, like reading a book, having a deep conversation, going for a walk, start to feel boring. You struggle to focus. You lose motivation. You feel restless. It's like your brain is always searching for something more exciting, something more stimulating. And the worst part? You don't even realize it's happening. Ever wonder why it's so hard to sit down and study for an hour, but so easy to watch videos for the same amount of time? Or why you start scrolling on your phone just for a minute and end up losing hours? That's dopamine addiction. Your brain has been rewired to chase instant rewards. The moment you feel even a little bored, a little uncomfortable, you reach for your phone, your laptop, or any other source of quick pleasure. And the cycle repeats. But here's the scariest part. This addiction doesn't just affect your productivity. It affects your happiness. When your brain is constantly chasing high levels of stimulation, real-life experiences start to lose their magic. A simple meal, a quiet moment, the satisfaction of finishing a project. These things should feel fulfilling. But if your brain is used to the constant spikes of dopamine from social media, video games, or processed food, they start to feel dull, empty, unsatisfying. And that's when it happens. The feeling of being stuck, the feeling of being unmotivated, the feeling that nothing is exciting anymore. You try to start a new habit, but you give up after a few days. You want to focus on your goals, but distractions keep pulling you away. You wonder why you don't feel as driven as you used to. And the answer? It's dopamine, or rather how you've been using it. Now, this isn't meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Because the good news is, you're not broken. You're not lazy. You haven't lost your ability to focus or feel motivated. Your brain has just been hijacked. And the moment you understand that, you can start taking back control. So what can you do? First, awareness is key. Start paying attention to your habits. How often do you reach for your phone without thinking? How many times do you check for notifications, even when you know nothing new is there? How often do you procrastinate on important tasks, choosing something easier instead? If you start to notice these patterns, congratulations. You're already one step ahead. The second step is understanding that dopamine itself isn't the enemy. The goal isn't to eliminate dopamine, but to learn how to use it wisely. Right now, your brain is used to getting dopamine the easy way, through instant gratification. But real success, real fulfillment, comes from delayed gratification. The ability to work towards something, to stay focused, to push through discomfort, that's what leads to long-term happiness. Imagine this. You're trying to build muscle. If you lift light weights all the time, your muscles won't grow. You need resistance. You need challenge. The same goes for your brain. If you always take the easy way, your ability to focus, to be patient, to work hard, it all gets weaker. But if you train your brain to delay gratification, to seek rewards that require effort, you start to rewire it for success. And that's exactly what we'll cover in the next section, the dopamine detox. A way to reset your brain, break free from distractions, and rebuild your focus and motivation. Because once you learn how to control your dopamine, instead of letting it control you, everything changes. Are you ready to take back control? Let's begin. The dopamine detox process. You now understand how dopamine works and how modern life has hijacked your brain. You've seen how instant gratification keeps you trapped in cycles of distraction, procrastination, and low motivation. But here's the good news. You are not stuck. You can reset your brain, rebuild your focus, and reclaim your motivation. And that's exactly what the dopamine detox is all about. So what is a dopamine detox? The term might sound extreme, but it's not about cutting out dopamine completely. That would be impossible. Instead, it's about taking control. It's about stepping away from artificial dopamine spikes and training your brain to function without constant stimulation. It's a reset, a way to undo the damage caused by endless scrolling, binge watching, and quick fix entertainment. Step 1. Identify your high dopamine triggers. Before you can detox, you need to know what you're detoxing from. Start by identifying the activities that give you instant pleasure but provide little long-term benefit. These are your high dopamine triggers, the things that keep you stuck in a loop of distraction. For most people, the biggest culprits are social media, mindless scrolling, checking notifications, watching short-form videos. Video games, endless rewards without real-world effort. Junk food, processed, sugary, highly stimulating meals. Pornography, artificial pleasure that hijacks your natural reward system. Binge watching, consuming hours of content without any real engagement. Excessive internet use, constantly checking emails, forums, or news. Take a moment to reflect. What are your personal distractions? What activities consume your time but leave you feeling empty afterward? Write them down. Awareness is the first step to change. Step 2. Choose your detox level. A dopamine detox isn't one size fits all. You can choose how extreme you want to go based on your lifestyle and goals. Here are 3 different approaches. 1. Full detox, 24 hours or more. This is the most intense form of dopamine detox. You cut out all high dopamine activities for a full day, or even longer. That means no social media, no gaming, no junk food, no unnecessary internet use. You remove every artificial dopamine spike and force your brain to reset. During this time, you focus only on low dopamine activities. Reading a book, journaling, taking a walk, meditating, exercising, doing deep work. This will be uncomfortable at first. Your brain will crave stimulation. You'll feel restless. But this discomfort is proof that your brain has become dependent on instant gratification. Push through it. 2. Intermediate detox. 1 week or more. If quitting everything at once feels too difficult, try an intermediate detox. Instead of cutting out all high dopamine activities, reduce them significantly. Limit social media to 30 minutes per day. Cut out junk food entirely. Reduce video game time to 1 hour or less. No binge watching. Limit yourself to 1 episode per day. This approach helps you regain control while still allowing some entertainment in moderation. 3. Minimal detox. Long-term lifestyle change. The goal of a dopamine detox isn't just to reset your brain, it's to create sustainable habits. If you don't want to do a full detox, focus on small, consistent changes. Set specific time limits for distractions. Remove unnecessary apps from your phone. Replace high dopamine habits with healthier alternatives. Practice mindfulness and intentional living. Even small changes can have a massive impact over time. The key is consistency. Step 3. Embrace discomfort. The moment you start your detox, something interesting will happen. You will feel bored. Really bored. You'll reach for your phone out of habit, only to realize it's not there. You'll sit in silence, unsure of what to do. Your brain will crave stimulation. and you'll feel an almost physical urge to check your notifications. This is withdrawal, and it's completely normal. For years, your brain has been conditioned to seek constant dopamine spikes. When you remove them, it panics. But this discomfort is actually a sign of progress. It means your brain is starting to heal. Instead of running from the discomfort, embrace it. Sit with it. Let yourself feel the restlessness without giving in. The longer you go without artificial dopamine hits, the more your brain will adjust. Eventually, you'll start to enjoy simple things again: reading, thinking, walking, creating. This is where real transformation happens. Step 4. Replace destructive habits with meaningful ones. A dopamine detox isn't just about removing bad habits, it's about replacing them with better ones. If you cut out distractions but don't fill the void, you'll end up right back where you started. Here are some powerful, low dopamine activities to focus on. Deep work. Spend time on meaningful projects, whether it's studying, writing, or creating. Exercise. Move your body. Strength training, running, or even simple stretching helps reset your brain. Mindfulness and meditation. Train your brain to focus and be present. Reading and learning. Absorb valuable knowledge instead of mindless content. Spending time in nature. Walk outside. Breathe fresh air. Disconnect from screens. Journaling. Write down your thoughts, track your progress, and reflect on your journey. By shifting your focus to low stimulation, high reward activities, you train your brain to find joy in real, meaningful experiences instead of artificial ones. Step 5. Reintroduce dopamine wisely. After a successful detox, you'll notice a difference. Your mind will feel clearer. Your focus will be stronger. You'll feel more in control. But the real challenge is maintaining these benefits long term. You don't have to eliminate high dopamine activities forever. The key is learning how to control them instead of letting them control you. Here's how. Use social media with purpose. Set a time limit. Don't scroll mindlessly. Eat for nourishment, not just pleasure. Choose whole foods that fuel your body. Play video games in moderation. Use them as a reward, not a distraction. Schedule entertainment instead of binging. Watch one episode, not 5. By being intentional with your dopamine sources, you can enjoy modern technology without becoming addicted to it. Final thoughts. The power of a detoxed mind. Imagine waking up in the morning without the urge to check your phone. Imagine sitting down to work and getting into deep focus without distractions. Imagine feeling excited about life, not because of artificial highs, but because you've retrained your brain to enjoy real, meaningful experiences. This is what dopamine detoxing can do for you. It's not about suffering, it's about freedom. The freedom to control your attention, your habits, and your life. Your brain is powerful. You have the ability to reshape it. The question is, are you willing to take the first step? If you are, your journey starts now. You've learned how dopamine controls your habits, you've gone through a detox to reset your brain, and now you're feeling clearer, more focused, and more in control. But here's the truth. If you stop here, you'll eventually fall back into old patterns. A dopamine detox isn't just a one-time reset. It's a foundation. The real challenge is what comes next, turning this new clarity into a long-term way of life. So how do you build lasting discipline and focus? How do you resist distractions, stay motivated, and create a life where you're in control of your time and energy? That's what this section is all about. Step 1. Understand the myth of motivation. Most people think discipline is about willpower. They wait for motivation to strike before they take action. They believe that successful people wake up every day feeling inspired, ready to work, ready to push forward. But that's not true. The reality? Motivation is unreliable. Some days, you'll feel energized and ready to take on the world. Other days, you won't want to do anything. And if you rely on motivation alone, you'll never be consistent. The key to success isn't feeling motivated. It's taking action even when you don't feel like it. That's what discipline is. Discipline is showing up when you're tired. Discipline is putting in the work even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is choosing long-term rewards over short-term pleasure. And the more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Step 2. The power of systems over willpower. If you have to rely on willpower every single day, you'll eventually burn out. The best way to stay disciplined isn't by forcing yourself to work hard. It's by building systems that make discipline automatic. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up and ask yourself, do I feel like brushing my teeth today? No, you just do it. It's automatic. That's the goal with discipline. You want to build habits and routines that make success inevitable. Here's how you do it. Eliminate distractions. If you constantly struggle with social media, delete the apps or use website blockers. Make bad habits hard to access. Create an environment that supports focus. If your phone is always within reach, you'll check it. If your workspace is cluttered, you'll feel overwhelmed. Make it easy to focus by designing your space for productivity. Set a fixed schedule. Don't just say, I'll study when I feel like it. Set a time. For example, every morning at 8 a.m., I work for 2 hours. Use the 2-minute rule. If a task feels overwhelming, just commit to doing it for 2 minutes. Once you start, you'll often keep going. When you build systems, discipline stops being a struggle. It becomes part of who you are. Step 3. Train your focus like a muscle. Your ability to focus is just like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. But most people have weak focus because they're constantly multitasking, switching between tasks, and getting distracted. To rebuild your focus, try these strategies. The Pomodoro technique. Work in focus 25-minute sprints, then take a 5-minute break. Repeat this cycle 4 times, then take a longer break. The deep work method. Set aside long, uninterrupted periods where you focus on one task. Turn off notifications, put your phone in another room, and go deep. The dopamine fasting method. If you find yourself craving distractions, take short breaks where you do nothing. Just sit in silence, take a walk, or meditate. This trains your brain to be comfortable without constant stimulation. At first, it will be hard. Your mind will wander. You'll feel restless. But over time, you'll notice something amazing. Your ability to concentrate will get stronger. And with stronger focus comes more productivity, more creativity, and more success. Step 4. Master the art of delayed gratification. The biggest difference between people who succeed and people who stay stuck is one thing: delayed gratification. Successful people are willing to put in work today for rewards in the future. They invest time in learning, practicing, and improving, even when they don't see immediate results. Unsuccessful people, on the other hand, chase instant pleasure. They give in to distractions, avoid discomfort, and never build anything meaningful. The question is, which one will you be? Here's how you train yourself for delayed gratification. Set long-term goals and break them into small steps. Big goals feel overwhelming, but when you break them down, they become manageable. Instead of saying, I want to get in shape, start with, I will work out for 15 minutes every morning. Reward effort, not just results. Most people only celebrate big achievements. Instead, focus on rewarding yourself for showing up consistently. Did you work for an hour today? That's a win. Did you resist the urge to check your phone? Another win. Small wins add up. Visualize your future self. When you're tempted by distractions, ask yourself, is this helping or hurting my future self? Make decisions that your future self will thank you for. The more you practice delayed gratification, the easier it gets. You'll start to enjoy the process of working hard. And eventually, you'll crave progress more than you crave distractions. Step 5. The compound effect of small daily actions. Most people overestimate what they can do in a day, but underestimate what they can do in a year. They try to make huge changes overnight, get overwhelmed, and quit. But real change happens through small, consistent actions repeated over time. Think about it. If you read for just 10 minutes a day, that's over 60 hours of reading in a year. If you write 500 words a day, you'll have a book written in just a few months. If you exercise for 30 minutes daily, you'll be in the best shape of your life in a year. Success isn't about making one huge change. It's about making small improvements every single day. Over time, these tiny actions compound into massive results. Step 6. Build an identity of discipline. The most powerful way to stay disciplined is to make it part of who you are. Stop saying, I'm trying to be productive. Instead, say, I am a productive person. Stop saying, I want to be more focused. Instead, say, I am someone who values deep focus. Identity shapes behavior. When you see yourself as a disciplined, focused person, your actions will start to match that identity. You won't have to force yourself to do the right things. It will just feel natural. Final thoughts. The life-changing power of discipline and focus. Imagine a life where you wake up with a clear purpose, where distractions don't control you, where you work on your goals with deep focus, where you feel energized, motivated, and fully in control of your habits and time. That life is possible, but it won't happen overnight. It takes time. It takes patience. And most of all, it takes commitment. You now have the tools. You understand dopamine, you've detoxed from distractions, and you know how to build discipline and focus for the long term. The only question left is, will you take action? Because at the end of the day, success isn't about knowledge. It's about execution. And your future self is waiting for you to start. So don't wait. Begin today. Stay consistent and watch as your entire life transforms before your eyes.